Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to this Flosstube Extra. Today is Saturday at the end of August, I'm not sure what the date is, and I have decided to do a kit parade for all of you today. My brother-in-law is downstairs playing a game with Aaron, and Quentin is at his dad's house, and I was in here doing some reorganizing and some rearranging, and so I figured while I had everything out I would go ahead and film a little, maybe not so little, kit parade for all of you. If you're new here, welcome. This is a channel that is mostly about cross stitch, and today will only be cross stitch. If you're new to the world of cross stitching, a kit is, everybody might have a little bit of a definition, but it's when you take a pattern and you take the supplies that go with it and put it all together. So for me, if it's in my kitted basket or overflowing basket as it was, it could be a pattern that has the fabric or the floss or the finishing materials or all of those things or just some of those things, or however it may be. The way I see something as kitted is that it has any of the materials that go with it. So you'll see a little bit of all of that as we go through. And if you are returning, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to do this quickly. I don't think it's going to be very quick, but it is very hot in here. I was a little overwhelmed when I pulled everything out. It looked like a little bit less in the basket. So what I decided to do was I separated them into like smallish things, medium-sized things, and larger things. And so I have set up all of the smaller things, and I'm going to show you those first, and then I'll pause and do the mediums, and then again for the larger projects. If possible, I took things out of bags to help reduce the glare. There will probably be some crinkling. If that's something that bothers you, I don't think it's anything that can be avoided today. So yeah, let's get started and let's see what I had in my kitted up basket. Alright, so first are two little things that I did not take out of the plastic because it did not make sense. The first is a little Mill Hill kit. This is one of their little ornaments, Winter Holiday Collection in Winter Feast. Very cute. My little cardinals. And here's another one. This was a gift from a friend. This is Wanda Witch, and the Mill Hill kits come with all the goodies: the perforated paper, the floss, the beads. There's usually a needle in here as well, or two, one for the stitching and one for the beading. So two cute little kits. All right, this next one is called Creeping It Round by Heart and Hand in collaboration with Color and Cotton. I think this came in a Halloween box, and I've got this fabric, this green fabric, somewhere in my fabric collection. I don't have it with the kit. So this came in a Halloween box, and it came, like I said, with the fabric and all of the flosses here and the finishing materials, so that will be a quick little stitch whenever I get to that. Next up, we have a little Prairie Schooler. There was a woman on Facebook, Stash Unloading, I think, who was selling like little Prairie Schooler kits for a while, and I got one from her. This is, I guess it doesn't have a name. It says Sew Dry, Set Wet, with the little cards, which is very cute. I like that. I pull that out always in the spring, and I've yet to stitch it. It came with this fabric, which I believe is stitchable, but I don't know that I would enjoy very much stitching on that. And the floss that you need for it as well. I am a sucker for something that's already kitted up that I don't have to do myself. Alright, next up is a Good Housewife pattern. This is called The Little Sampler. Looks like this. And it reads, "Girls do not cook and scrub and scour until you have time to plant a tree or vine or flower." I've also bought this already kitted up. It came with the DMC and a little piece of linen to stitch it on. I don't know that this is the call for, but it's pretty and it's really soft, so I will use that. I will probably grunge this up a little bit before I do it. Now, some of these, as I pulled them out, I'm like, are these really kits? But like this one, for instance, this is another Good Housewife. This is Proper Necessaries Elizabeth's Sewing Bag and Pincushion. It looks like this. And so this kit came with the bag here. So as you can see, you can make a little pin cushion, and you actually stitch a little label that goes on the bag. I don't have any of those parts in here. All I have is the little drawstring bag. Alright, this next one is by Shakespeare's Peddler. This is Maggie Bean Patience. Looks like this. It's a little hard to see. So I bought this and it came with these silks. These are the silks. Oops, excuse me. And I have already stitched this once, but there are enough for sure to do it again. Here's what mine looks like. Oops, it's my little needle book. So cute. I love that so much. So I would like to stitch that again. I just don't know what I would do with it when I do. Next is Country Sampler Sewing Pouch by Stacy Nash Primitives. Looks like this. Very sweet. I bought this already kitted up, and it came with the flosses, the linen, which is very pretty, and again very soft, and all of the finishing materials. Another Stacy Nash that was in my basket is one that I've liked for a very long time. This is Stacy Nash Primitives Animal Cracker Series in P-Roy. It's the slug. And I don't have any of the flosses pulled for him, but I do have the called for fabric, which is 36 count R&R in vintage homespun. So I've got the fabric all ready to go. Next, I've had this in my stash for quite some time. This is Lindy Stitch's Strutting Tom. This was a Nashville kit, I believe. 2020? Is that right? Was this in 2020? Time is all crazy, you know. I know I'm not the only one struggling with the passage of time here. So this came with the linen stitch on. It's not very big at all. It and all of the finishing materials, even the interfacing. I appreciate that very much. Next is a kit that I did not take out of the plastic. This is a Riolis kit. Actually, my brother-in-law that's here tonight got me this for Christmas one year. And it is two cats. They are on, it looks like a fence. Kind of like wintry autumn vibes, kind of November vibes, I think. Looks like there are more to this series. I've done a Riolis kit before, and I know some people don't care for their flosses. I think it's like an acrylic blend floss, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm not sure. I've had this for several years now as well. I'm not sure why I never pulled it out. It's very fun. Alright, next is something that I got recently when I was in New Jersey, and this is Cotton Pixels 3D Winter Cat. It looks like that. So cute. I have not gotten any fabric for it. It's just, I think, a white 36 count, but I have been collecting the flosses. I still need to get, it calls for some Krynic. 2 colors of Krynic and 1 gold bead, which I think I have something here that I can, oh, it's 32 count white Belfast. I'm sure I've got a gold bead here I can use. I'll just have to get the Krynic for that. So it calls for some anchor and some DMC as well. And that has been living in this cute little bag that I got from Abby Topknot at the New Jersey retreat. Next, I have a Blackbird design pattern. This is Remember Me. It's a Reward of Merit sampler. Looks like this. And for this, I have a piece of something. Oh, I'm ready to start this, apparently. I have a pin in the middle and everything. It's a little more peachy, I think, in real life. And I think this might be a 40 count. I'm not positive though. And it only calls for 2 colors of floss, and so I've got this brown black for the brown, and this extra design silk and antique blue. Looks like that. So I think those will be really pretty together. And this project lives in my stitch book bag, which I love. And it's got this little box. See that? Cute. Love it. Next is a pattern I had been looking for a while, and I found it recently at the Stitching Post in Catonsville, Maryland, and that's the Maryland Flag Crab by Samplers Revisited. Looks like this. Now you can do just the flag or the crab. I'm going to do the crab. And I have picked a couple of flosses for that. I've picked some silks, so a red, a white, a yellow, and then I've got a black sulky in there as well. And I've got 2 different fabrics in here because I'm not sure what I want to do. I've got this like tea-dyed 18 count Ada, and I also have a piece of, what is this, 36 count rain washed by Color and Cotton. So that's pretty too. So I'm not sure which one that will end up on, or maybe I'll do it twice. Let's see. Excuse me. Next is a little kit that I picked up off the freebie table at the New Jersey retreat, and I don't know why I like it so much, but I saw it there and then I didn't get it, and I just like, why, when are you going to stitch that? Why do you want that? I don't know, but I couldn't stop thinking about it for some reason. We'll see. This is Canadian Goose on a shaker box. The heart wants what it wants, people. And I wanted that goose. And it comes with all the stuff. This next one, I don't have any floss or fabric pulled yet, but I do have the finishing materials for it. And this is Next Door by Heartstring Samplery, and it says, I wish, it's a little pillow you make, and it says, I wish you lived next door. And I can think of a lot of people that I feel this way about. So that's the pattern, and then here I've got the finishing collection that's by Lady Dot Creates, and it comes with the little pins and some pom-poms and this little trim and this really pretty backing fabric that has bees and flowers on it. I like that a lot. This next one I have already stitched once. It's a pillow that's downstairs. I meant to grab it before I started filming, but I didn't. So if I think to, I'll add a picture. But I'm trying to not really edit this too much, so we'll see if that happens or not. Either way, I have all the supplies to do it again. I'll have almost enough thread to do it. I would maybe have to change a couple of things out. But either way, this is Fractor Bird by Shakespeare's Peddler. Looks like this. So it came with all of the threads, which I think the black is the only one that I won't have enough of. You can see my very fancy index card floss holder. And I stitched it on a piece of 32 count murky, and so here's the other half of that. And this was the backing fabric that I used for the other pillow. This is an old tablecloth of mine that I cut up. This was the only time that I had ever seen like my picture, like a picture of one of my things on Pinterest. Somebody had posted in one of the stitching groups like my picture that I took of that, and was like, "Oh, what's this pattern?" And I was like, "Where did you find that picture? That's so weird. That's my picture I took." It was on Pinterest, but whatever. So yes, I'd like to stitch that again. I guess as a gift for somebody, I would think. The next is called the River Sampler, designed by Nancy Sturgeon, by Threads Through Time Reproduction Needlework, and this is a silk gauze kit. So I'm not sure if that will focus. Hopefully it is a little bit. It's a little, it's like a river scene with some houses and a little sailboat and the alphabet and some trees. And this comes with all of the things. I don't know if you can see that little piece of gauze in there. It's tiny. I'm anxious to try this. I think what keeps me from doing it is just that I need to attach this to a piece of other fabric, and I just have not done that for whatever reason. I don't know. This next project I actually got off of the freebie table as well at the first New Jersey retreat that I went to, and this is N. Hine 1778, a miniature sampler by the Scarlet Letter. It looks like this. And it's a little tiny sampler that needs to be stitched, I think, on 35 count over 1 to be like the same size as the original. And I have this kitted up with this piece of fabric that I also got in the our gift bag at that retreat, and this is a piece of 36 count country mocha. And I had some red thread in there that I must have pillaged for something else because it's not in there anymore. Next is Sister Suffragette by Summer House Stitchworks. And I was pretty sure that I had the threads for this, but I did not. And what I did have was some fabric in here, and I guess I had started it here. Just have this little piece of fabric. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be because it doesn't necessarily look like any of the letters on that pattern. So whatever it is, that'll have to come out, and I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing there. We have a miniature Quaker sampler by Kathy Barrick. It's like this. This is pretty small. What does it say? 69 wide by 113 high. And I bought this with all of the called for colors. They all came with the pattern. Very pretty. Not sure what fabric I would use with that. This next sampler is something that I'm planning on starting in September. This is also by the Scarlet Letter, and this is Sally Morse, 1795. It looks like it's from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I did not take her out because she is still sealed up. She's little. She's going to be 5 by 7, and she comes with the, I think, 30 count linen and the silk flosses as well. So I'm excited to stitch her. All right, this next one I also left in the packaging. This is Noel Tag by the Bee Company. Looks like this. This was in the Kitten Stitcher Advent box. So all the goodies in there. Here we have A Not Forgotten Farm. It's called My Needle is Sharp Sewing Pillow Project. Looks like this. And it says, My needle is sharp and my hands swift, 1871. And I bought this, excuse me, also kitted up. So it came with, sorry, all of the DMC already bobbinated. And then it also came with this linen, which I guess is the cupboard cloth. I'm not sure. But it would be stitchable, but I don't think, again, that I would want to stitch on it. It doesn't seem very hospitable for that. So I would probably pull this out and use it for something else and switch out that linen. Next up, I have another little Mill Hill kit. This is a Buttons and Beads Autumn Series Tree of Life. Looks like this. Now this next one, when I pulled the fabric out, I thought to myself, I don't think this is I don't think this is what I thought was going to work. This is Mother's Heart by Lindy Stitches. And it says, a mother's heart is black and blue, bruised from loving, ever true. And that's adorable. But this is the fabric I have with it. This is a 40 count, I know. I used the other half of this to stitch, is it Afternoon in Paris by Country Cottage? It's hanging in my bathroom downstairs. But I don't think this is going to fit. That is going to fit on this. So I need to double check that for sure. For sure. Alright, my next little kit is For a Friend kit by Lottie Dot. Looks like this. And this came with the linen. Just very pretty. It also came with the flosses, this little tag, black velvet, and ribbon for the trim. Cute. Another Lindy Stitches. This is Raven's Needlebook. Shiny things. Let's see. The other part, and included in that was this little packet with all the fabric, lining fabrics, felts, the linen to stitch on, the rickrack, the interfacing, all of the goodies. I think all I have to do is pull the floss for that. Oh, look, there's even pretty pins in there as well. Next up, we've got something, I actually kitted this up last year for Dark October stitching, but didn't get to it, so maybe this year. And this is Pineberry Lane's Cats and Jacks. And it's for cute little projects. Let's see. Looks like they're like finished on 36 count, like 2.5 by 3 each of them. That's really pretty, and with that I have all of the DMC that is called for and a piece of 36 count Barb's blend. So I think that'll work nicely with that. We're almost at the end of this pile. Next I have this booklet, which is Magnets, Bits and Pieces by Fond Memories Inc. I have stitched this one out of here for a friend, and I want to stitch this one right here, this sun and moon, and with that I have this little piece of blue Ada that my friend Ian gave me. So there's that, and then last in the smalls category is this small? Oh yeah, 75 by 75. Okay, this is Patchwork Cats by Kathy Barrett. And this came with this pretty peachy colored linen and all the DMC. Alright, so that's our smalls category. I'm going to get this cleaned up a little bit and reset for the medium projects, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, we're back. Reset. Alright, so moving on to my more mid-size projects. The first thing we have here is a primitive needle chart. It's called Thy Needle. It looks like this. It did not cost me $16. It came in this little kit that comes with the pattern and the fabric. And this is the fabric here that it came with. And then I got the called for threads that go with that. So that's ready to go. These next two I got pretty recently. These are both by You and I and Friends, and this is Primitive Sun, and that came with the fabric. As did Primitive Moon. Same fabric. Probably should fold that a little nicer before I put it away. Alright. right, we've got two Chessie and me's here. This is the Lavender House sampler, which is really pretty. The picture's not great. And this came also with all of, it did not come with fabric, but it came with all of the called for flosses. So some of them were on these cards, and then there were a couple of full skeins as well. This next one is called the Lincoln Home 1860 Sampler. Looks like this. I've had this one for quite some time, and I'm thinking about unkitting this. I don't know that I'm going to stitch it. And with that, I have a piece of just 32 count raw linen. Just some regular linen. This is another one that I've had kitted for a long time that I'm thinking about unkitting. I'm not sure. I got the floss for this the first time I believe that I went to Needlecraft Corner, so that was many years ago now. And I just don't know that I'm going to do it. And this is Cat Lessons for People by Lizzie Kate. And I think I used to have the DMC in here too, but that's gone. Now all I have are the over-dyed flosses, so we'll see what happens with that. This one I'm definitely stitching, maybe this year again for Dark October stitching. This is Crafty Witches by Lucy Bean, Love and Stitches. I love that. And I haven't pulled any of the flosses for it yet, but I do have this piece of Camelot 36 count by Color and Cotton to stitch it on. I use the other half of this for that like fall rain scene. Can't think of what it's called right now, but I have that in there like that. Now these next three, I didn't take all of the like accoutrement out of the bags because it's kind of a lot. These are Fern Ridge Collections pieces. This one is Death Rose, and here's all of the things that go with that. This one, like, I was kind of obsessed with when it came out at market a couple years ago, and I don't know why. I thought as soon as I got it in my hands I would start it immediately, and I haven't done that yet, and I'm not sure why. That's okay. Plenty of time. Hopefully. This one is called Love Soon Lost, a poem book. And like, can you see there's a lot of instructions that go with that. And here are all the parts to it. And then I've got one more, and oof, this one is a lot as well. This is the Macabre Madness sewing roll, which I know these pictures don't give you a whole lot to go off of, but they are pretty cool. And this one also has a giant amount of things that go with it as well. So this would be fun. Maybe this would be a nice winter project. This is Ivy Wed by Blackbird Design, for obvious reasons. And I have this. I have not pulled any threads with this, but I do have a piece of 32 count oatmeal by Color and Cotton. There with it, just a pretty neutral color. This next one is a primitive needle chart. This is Hoodoo Voodoo. I'm thinking about starting this for our anniversary this year. So Erin and I got married on Halloween of last year, and originally our plan was to go to New Orleans to get married, so I always kind of thought this is like a wedding sampler of sorts, but obviously that didn't happen, pandemic, all blah 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 blah. Either way, I'm thinking about starting this this year. I haven't got any threads for it yet. I think that I can probably pull some from my stash. And then to go along with it, I have a piece of 32 count vintage pear, which is really pretty. Really pretty fabric. I like that an awful lot. So a lot of fun things coming up soon. Next, I have another primitive needle chart. This is Flathead's Embrace. Looks like this. and it says, we are each of us angels with one wing, and we can only fly embracing each other. And I don't know, that's so funny and weird, and I just love it. I love that. And with this, I have all of the called for threads. And what is this fabric? This is a piece of pampas grass. This is a 36 count bicolor and cotton. This next one I did not open. This is called Girls Night Out by Kathy Barrick. I guess maybe it was made for Remember the Ladies. I'm not sure. It comes in this like little case, and it came with all of these are Kreinik Silk Mori milk pink colors. So it came with all of that. That's pretty. This next one I've had kitted up forever, it feels like, and I can't tell you how many times I pulled it out to start it, and then for whatever reason I don't. I know I want to make a change to one of the cats, and maybe that's what's keeping me from doing it. I'm not sure. This is Folk House by Not Forgotten Farm. I've loved this pattern for a long time. It's been in my stash for a long time. I want to make one of these cats Bud and one of these cats Herbie, because they're my babies. So with this, I have a piece of sampler khaki in 32 count by Extreme Design. And I have all of the called for DMC. This next one is a Sheepish Designs pattern. This is called American Beauty. Another one that I just love, love, love. And I mean, it's just black fabric, which I have in my stash. And I have all of the DMC that goes with it, but you see the variation of the overdyes. It calls for silken colors and Alvera Soie. So I'll probably go through my stash and see if I can find some things to go with that, because that's beautiful. I love that. This is an Ink Circles. This is After the Roses. This is one of those like it's so beautiful patterns. I haven't picked out any fabric. I'm thinking maybe I want to start this in November this year. I'm not sure. But I do have all of the called for flosses to go with it. Sometimes I see something and I just have to have all of the parts, like all the flosses to it immediately. I don't, even if I'm not starting it, I just have to know that they're here with me, just in case. Let's see. This is another Not Forgotten Farm. This is Spring Farmhouse. Looks like this. Really pretty. Like that a lot. This I bought semi-kitted. The woman that I bought it from sent this along with it. It's got one. This Not Forgotten Farm calls for DMC floss, so she's got one of them here. You can see she just wrote on the tag. This is a cute little system though, so when I pull the rest of them, I'll put them on here. And it also came with this piece of linen, which is really pretty. And a nice note that I found in there as well. This is Tiny Modernist, Moths and the Moon. Looks like this. I have not pulled any, I have not pulled any of the DMC for this yet, but that should be no problem. And for the fabric, I have a piece of 36 count haystack, which is a little more yellow in real life than it's looking there. And I'm keeping that in this really cute bag. I don't know that there's any rhyme or reason to why some things go into bags immediately and why some things don't. Next up, I have a pattern by Uncanny Kari and D's 20 Stitches. This is Iron Maiden. I got this in their Spring Fling Retreat box, and I've already stitched the other pattern out of it. It came with this beautiful floss by Bryn and Needle. These are gorgeous flosses, and this pink fabric. See on the other side is where I finished the Don't Touch Me. Love that. And it was in, maybe I should swap these these bags and put my moth pattern in here. This is an art design pattern, and this is Count the Pins. She's got a bunch of these different cute little counting samplers, like, is it Count the Cups and Count the Saucers, I think, are two of the other ones. So that's super cute. And I've got, it came with this Color and Cotton Bing Cherry to stitch it in. And the matching bag. How cute is that? I love that. Amanda May from Art Designs is like, she's amazing. Alright, this next one is by the Exemplary Summer Sampler Collection. This is the Marietta Stevens sampler. Came in this box. I think this came Kitten Stitcher maybe when she was doing her treasure chest. I'm not sure if she's still doing that. But this was for Historic Deerfield. And that came with lots of stuff inside, including the fabric for the sampler. I think this is a 28 count, as well as all of the flosses, which are like in numbered packs. I'll have to get into there and figure all that out. This is another one that I've had for a long time, that I would like to actually stitch someday. This is Random Thoughts by The Drawn Thread. Looks like this. And when I bought it, it came with the silks and the all the little embellishments which are in there, and I kitted it up with a piece of 32 count Irish linen, which is just this plain cream color. This next one is a PDF, and it's in black and white, and it is, the pattern is called Arc of White by Tempting Tangles Designs. And obviously it does not look like that. This is beautiful, beautiful. I have it kitted up with a piece of 36 count Glasgow by Color and Cotton, so if you can kind of see this beautiful like purpley gray color, I've got kitted with this. It's really nice. This next is a Scarlet Letter. This is Sally Hunt, 1795. And as you can see, it's still in the package. Really pretty. Comes with the fabric and the DMC, and it says Sally Hunt, her work, wrote in 13th year of her age, 1795. My time is ever on the wing, my moments swiftly fly, and may I ever keep in mind that I am born to die. I don't think this one's too big either. 11 by 6 1/4. Maybe I'll start this for September 2. We'll see. Or maybe I should work on some samplers I already have. This I purchased, and it actually came with a started piece. This is excuse me, an anonymous sampler by Chartmakers. Looks like that. And as you can see, this came with the black linen, and somebody started it but did not choose to continue. We do cross our X's the opposite way, so I'm not sure if I will pick that out and start over, or if I will leave their stitches in. We will see. Next is something I acquired pretty recently, and this is by Lucy Beam, and this is her sampler stitcher kit. It looks like this, and it comes with the perforated paper and the floss that you need. So this is the perforated paper. It looks super cool, and the floss on this cute little card. That's adorable. Next we have AH to EE, a reproduction of an 1806 Quaker sampler by Kathy Barrett. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. I think this is gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And I have this kitted up with a piece of 40 count extra design and marble bunny. It's just a really soft, it's almost a little pinky. And I have DMC 3750 to stitch on for my blue sampler wall. Next we have a Courtney collection. This is Celtic Alpha. It's a very super long skinny piece. And I haven't picked what floss I'd like to use yet. I feel like that probably is probably won't be that hard of a decision. I've got this piece of 35 count gray fabric to stitch it on. It's like a big long piece. Next we have Live Simply by The Good Housewife. Looks like this. And this also came kitted. And I don't know that I will use this color that came with it. It came with a piece of 32 count raw Belfast linen. Just a pretty standard raw. And it also came with DMC 320. But I don't know that that's the combination that I would use. I think I'm going to change the DMC floss out for something else. Next we have Bluebird of Happiness. This is a Blackbird design pattern. Loose Feathers Abecedarian series number 5. Looks like this. Really pretty. I might even just do this little seam here at the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to do this whole thing, which is good because it came with this linen, and I don't know that it'll fit on here. This doesn't seem very big. So I'm not sure, but it'll definitely work for that smaller part at the bottom. Another Blackbird design is What Remains. I really want to start this, but I just am not quite ready to do so yet. I have not pulled any floss. I'm going to use things from my stash for that for sure. And I've pulled a piece of 36 count Eggnog by Color and Cotton. Stitch it on. I think that's pretty close to the color in the picture. Next I have another pattern that was already started by a stitcher, this time by a very sweet friend of mine. She sent me a package and included her start of this pattern. She didn't think she was ever going to finish it. This is Designer Series from Sudbury House. This is Sun and Moon. Looks like this. And she had started the moon right here. Here's her start of that. I'm not sure what this fabric is. She had to start. It does look like we cross our X's the same way, and her stitching is absolutely beautiful. So I am excited to work on that and think about my sweet friend while doing so. Alright, next we have some Stitchy Princess patterns. This is Magical Forest. It's from her Etsy store, which is Stitchy Princess on Etsy, and she's Stitchy Princess Black. That's right, on Instagram. So Magical Forest. And here are some of the DMC. So when I bought some of her patterns, and I went and got all the DMC for all of them, and then I dispersed them, but not, I'm not sure what happened. I'm missing a bunch of floss. So the DMC, and I have a Color and Cotton 32 count in vanilla. Stitch that on. I have Mushroom Meadow. Cute. That would look nice in my kitchen, I think. We have some mushroom, like pinup mushroom wallpaper in there. Here are some of the DMCs, obviously not all of them. And I've got a piece of 32 count Old Farmhouse by Not Forgotten Farm to stitch that one on. I also have the Night Alphabet Sampler, the Ukrainian version. And I have, this does just call for a couple of DMCs, and this is some 18 count Black Ada. I guess I'm ready to start that. Something else to be stitched on black is another Barrick Samplers, Kathy Barrick. This is How Does Your Garden Grow? And this came with the black, I think this might be a 32 count black, and the called for DMC. This is the last one in our medium pile, and this is Set Your Mind at Ease by Needlework Press. I love this. I'm not sure, whoops, I dropped the DMC. I'm not sure what this fabric is. I have this fabric here. Oh, look. I was wondering where that was. So this is the other half of that fabric, apparently. That's a Not Forgotten Farm. And I have all the called for DMC for this one too, but I think I might pull some overdyes for that one as well. So, alright, that was all of the medium-sized projects, and I'm going to reset one more time, and we'll do our big ones. Alright, hang on. Alright friends, we are ready for the last portion of the skip parade, and these are my larger projects. And let's jump in. Alright, first up we have Quaker Gardens by Hello from Liz Matthews. I just showed this last time. Also, if the lighting's a little bit different, it's almost 7 o'clock here, so I turned some lights on. And I plan on stitching this on a piece of 32 count copper linen with this beautiful silk. This is Mystery 101 by HDF. I cannot wait to start that one. Super excited. Next up we have the Blue Flower Night Walk Down, which looks like this. I will be starting this with some friends next year, and I'm very excited about it. I have all of the called for colors. I believe I kitted this up like almost immediately. I was like, oh wow, that is gorgeous, and I got all of the called for colors. And the fabric that I chose is a piece of Seraphim fabric in 36 count Harvest Blessings, and it is gorgeous. So I'm not sure where I will orient that on the fabric just yet, but I'm super excited to stitch that one as well. Now, this next piece of fabric, I have two Mirabilias slated with it. It's a piece of fabric that I dyed myself, and I'm pretty sure I can fit both of them on there if I'm careful, but if not, I'll have to pick one. The two patterns that I have picked are, what is this one? What is she called? Oh, Siren and the Shipwreck. Got this from my friend Lily, and Aphrodite Mermaid. And I have dreams of making these into like Chesapeake Bay inspired mermaids, so like definitely like deepening their colors and changing them around. And this is the fabric that I have for them. This is a piece of 32 count Lugana that I dyed. Looks like this. So I'm hoping I can fit them both on there. I didn't think about this when I purchased it. I do have the bead pack for Siren and the Shipwreck, which I'm not sure that I will end up using if I convert her colors, so we'll see about that. The next thing that I have is another project that I had purchased already, partially started. This came from eBay. This is Counted Thread Cross Stitch Sampler, the Redeem Sampler. Oh, this is from 1980. Looks like this. And it is stitched on some Ada, and this is where it is. This is what I purchased. This is where we'll be starting from. The stitcher has beautiful stitches. We cross our X's the same way. It says, redeem the misspent time that's past and live each day as it were thy last. And it of course came with all the threads, which are kind of a mess, a hand-drawn chart, and here's like the magazine cutout of the picture. So I'd like to start working on that sometime. Next up, we have Here Lies My Needles by Shakespeare's Peddler. Now, I had this kitted up with floss at one point, but I pilfered that all out, and so this is just in here with a piece of 18 count Ada that I dyed. I do have a couple of needles, retired needles in here as well. The next one is something that I think I would also like to alter. This is another blue flower chart. This is When Lilacs Bloomed, and it looks like this. It's very pretty. The verse reads, "When lilacs last in the doorway bloomed, and the great star early dropped in the western sky, lilac and star and bird twined with the chant of my soul there in the fragrant pines." Which is fine, but I looked this up, and I think I've got some different words that I might put in there. Either way, I haven't picked the fabric for that yet. Does that look crazy or murky? What do we think? But here are the called for DMCs. Next up, we have the Shores of Hawk Run Hollow, which looks like this. And I have hemmed and hawed about different fabric that I might like for this. But I recently got this fabric. This is a hand-dyed linen. It's a 40 count. Oksana? Lopatina, maybe? And it looks like this. It's a nice big piece. And I really like it a lot, but I don't know if you can tell. If I pull it in, you can see it's got all of these blue splotches all over it, which to me looks like a bunch of ink stains. And I can just see like a ship captain making his notes and staining his paper. And I don't know. I don't know if that's silly, but that's what I think of when I see that. So I think those two will look really nice together. Next up, I've got My Hometown by Carriage House Samplings. It looks like this. Again, I haven't picked any fabric for this one. And what I've thought about doing is I would like to make this look like my house here, and then I would like to go down into the town where I live and take some pictures of some different houses and make each of these look like one of the houses in my town. I really, really want to do that. I really want to start this. So I do have all of the called for DMC that goes with that pattern, but those colors of course might be changing depending on how I make my adaptations. Next up, I have a pattern that excuse me, my nose is so itchy, that I also purchased pretty recently, and this is Jean Podebon 1906. And this is that great sampler that has the donkey and the dog on it. I love this. I guess I'm going to start saying I can't wait to, or maybe I have been saying, I can't wait to start all of these, because I definitely feel that way. This might be a September start too. And I have two different pieces of fabric in there for this, and I'm not sure. One is definitely more green. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go just yet. Here are all of the called for DMCs, and I put this in my Grateful Dead bag. Next, I have Mary Pet Sampler. This is a Baltimore, Maryland sampler, and it looks like this. I talked about this, I think, in pretty good detail in my one of my Flosstube episodes. I love this. I have it kitted with a piece of a 32 count vintage Luna linen. She's pretty big. I think this is gonna give me like an 1.5 inch margin, maybe. Like she's big. She's a big gal. And I have all of the DMC for this one as well. Here's the Berry Lang. And this lives in my Black Eyed Susan bag that I made. This I've had kitted up for a long time as well, several years at this point, and it is Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. Will this be the year that I start it? Maybe. I have a great big piece of 18 count Ada in here that I dyed for this. Now this is obviously much, at least I think it's too big. I hope it's too big. This piece is huge, right? It's giant. This piece is 43 by 21, so this has got to be too big. What size? 18 count is going to be 23 1/4 by 14 7/8. So yes. So I got this big old piece of fabric in there, and this was at one point kitted up with all the DMC, but this has been like the #1 project that I was like stealing floss out of for a long time. So I'll have to reevaluate that. Here we have another Scarlet Letter chart. And this is a great big sampler. This is Emily Lucille. On the 35 count linen, it would finish at 15 1/4 by 20 1/2. So that is a big girl. And it says, could we forbear disputes and practice love, we should agree as angels do above. Weak though we are, to love is no hard task, and love is all that heaven doth ask. I go to sleep before you, but we shall wake together. Okay, so my phone just cut me off. So I'm going to try to make this fast because I think I'm having some storage issues that I'm going to need to deal with. But I think I was in the midst of reading the verse on Emily Lucille. The bottom of it reads, no spring till when, Emily Lucille is my name, and England is my nation, Oxford is my dwelling place, a place of habitation. When I am dead and laid in grave and all my bones are rotten, when this you see, remember me, though I was quite forgotten. So that's beautiful, but I don't know, I've had it for a long time and I've never felt a strong urge to start it. I think it's because up here in the corners these are all queen stitches, and that seems like a lot. So we'll see. Next, sorry for the barking, I have a Mary Wynn Farm chart, which is Sarah Ann Marvin, 1838. She looks like this. And this is a morning sampler, a mother's morning sampler. And I'm not going to read that verse. And I have this kitted up with a piece of Picture This Plus Heartland, 36 count, which is beautiful. The year that this fabric came out, I purchased it for that chart. And I guess I'll start that one day when I am ready. Right, I think we have 2 more to get through. We have a Hands Across the Sea Samplers, Elizabeth Atkinson, 1829. Looks like this. I love her. I love that crazy blue creature there. She's very pretty. And I would very much like to do her in the Soie d'Alger. It's quite a few, but it's not like out of control or anything. And I have exactly 2 of those colors so far. So a little ways to go with that one. And then lastly, I have a Dimensions kit. And this is Victorian Charm. I have to be careful because for some reason, past Megan decided to open this at the bottom or something. I'm not sure what I did. You may have seen this one before. I think this one is absolutely beautiful. I had thoughts of wanting to convert the house into like a, well, not a pink house, but I think this is beautiful. I've seen it stitched in person at a retreat on a finished table, and it's just breathtaking. So one day I'll start this one too. So, all right. I hope you enjoyed all of my projects, my one day, my wish list of things that I'd like to do. I hope you get some really good stitching in while you hung out with me, and I hope all of you are well and that you have a great evening and you're enjoying the end of your summer. And all right, I guess that's it. Bye everybody. Love you.